Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue podcast. On this video, I will be ranking the Star Wars Vision films. So for those not familiar, Star Wars Visions is it's a project that recently released on September 22nd. It is 9 short films created by Japanese anime studios that have that they're Star Wars properties, but they are just kind of like their own standalone stories. So pretty much think of anything like if you've seen the Animatrix or that Batman Gotham Knights movie where it's animated shorts that are part of that take elements from the property. So these stories take elements from Star Wars and just kind of incorporate them into this world. So I really enjoyed them. They're most of them are anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a pretty quick watch. I went ahead and I took my time watching them, so I would only watch maybe a couple of two or three a day because I didn't want to run out immediately. I mean, but you can kind of get this all watched within 2 hours, 2.5 hours probably. So yeah, there's 9 films. So I'll be ranking them. I'll touch a little bit on the studio that created them, some of the works that you may be familiar with from that studio. Now, I'm not very familiar with all of them. I did do a little bit of research. And then I'll just kind of touch on a few of the points of why I ranked this story where I did. So let's go ahead and get on to the list. We'll start with number 9. This is Akakiri from Studio Science Saru. They've worked on things like Space Dandy before. The reason this is here, and this is actually the last episode, I almost wish this was not the last episode because it ends a little bit. It feels like it ends the. It's not really a series, but you kind of end up on a little bit. At least I ended up on a little bit of a downer. Uh, so for this one, the story is a little scattered, although it does have an interesting premise at the end of the story. Um, and I would like to see a continuation of the story. This was one of the shorter films. It was about 13 minutes long only. So yeah, I feel like this one it was lacking a little bit. It was still enjoyable, but it was a little bit all over the place. So next up, we have at number 8, TOB1. This actually, I really like the animation on this one. This is also by Studio Science Sato, which is interesting that both of the bottom ones, I think this studio, although they have beautiful animation and effects and overall, I mean, these are all good. Like I really enjoyed all of them. Like it's only a ranking in like comparison to the other stories, but this is great. I really like this one, but there's a few things that it's a nice premise. It's interesting. It's not entirely the stories I like to see, um, but either way, it was still like I said. These are so condensed and short in time. Like they're still really enjoyable. Like just it's something as you experience. But the last two, I wouldn't really go back and rewatch over and over. Although I do plan to rewatch most of these in with the uh, Japanese voiceover. Uh, so next up, we have number 7. At number 7, I have Tatooine Rhapsody. This is from Studio Colorido. Recently, they did the anime adaptation of Burn the Witch, the Tite Kubo um, manga and anime. Um, Tite Kubo is the creator of Bleach, so you may be familiar with that from the story. Um, the reason this one's here, some of the good points. It has really cool music, really cool character designs, uh, but this one as well is not entirely what I would call my jam. No pun intended there. But yeah, this one just also missed the mark a little bit with me. This is the first, actually, this is the second one you get to see. So overall, as enjoyable as it is, this is not something probably I would go back and rewatch much. Um, Next, we have at number 6, uh, Lup and Ocho. Um, this one from Heno Studios. Now, I couldn't find anything that I personally watched in their work. They do have a lot of work. They have a few things that I'm sure I'm just not familiar with. I would say this one has a really, really good story, really good premise, really cool characters overall. This is the longest one at 20 minutes. So overall, I enjoy this. I mean, like I said, these are all very close as to like, but I wanted to make a video where, we love lists, we love ranking things. So here we are. Coming up next at number five, we have The Ninth Jedi from Production IG. They Production IG actually has a super extensive list of works. Most recognizable here, I thought it was Ghost in the Shell. So I think this has one of the best stories by far. Really cool themes, cool lightsabers, battles, and stuff like that. This is one of the ones I would like to see a continuation as well. This one kind of leaves off in a place where I feel like we could go back and explore more of this world. I don't know what the plans are for this. Maybe some of the stories that were not entirely like up my alley. Maybe they have plans for a continuation at some point. So maybe that's why they feel a little bit weaker in the story when in comparison to the other ones, which are complete stories. So that'd be interesting to see in the future what Disney plans to do with this project. At number four, we have The Elder. Um, this has probably my favorite character, uh, the Master Jedi in this story. Yeah, he's just probably my favorite character design. It probably has a lot to do with the fact that I believe I don't know if is the exact way that Qui Gon fights, the same Jedi technique or lightsaber technique. I don't know if it's the same fighting style, but it's very similar to Qui Gon, and Qui Gon is one of my favorite characters in the movies. So yeah, this says great fight, great design, awesome characters. Um, yeah, this the Elders was one of the ones that I was really excited for since the trailer. This is by Studio Trigger, who brought us Kill la Kill, so I should not be surprised that this is a banger because this is really really good. So yeah, quite enjoyed the Elder. Um, this one's really self-contained, so I don't know that there would be a continuation or something like this. Although I would like to see the Master and the Padawan from that story come back at a later date. Next, at number three, we have The Village Bride. This is from Kinema Citrus or Cinema Citrus. I don't know how you say. I don't know if you say the K with a soft sound or not. Um, Most recognizable to me, they've worked on Rising of the Shield Hero adaptation, which is very recent. I think season two is coming to Crunchyroll pretty soon. This one again, great design, mystery, and a fun story. There is a there's a sequence here that just gave me goosebumps. Like there's a line and then followed by something that happens in the story. It just really gave me goosebumps. It's really good. One of my favorites for sure. Let's see. Now at number two, we have the Duel. This is the opening story. That at least if you're watching them in order, and I think from the trailers, I remember being super excited about this design, the designs of the characters here. This is from Studio Kamikaze Doga, who have brought us things like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but also for me personally, they worked on the Batman Ninja movie, which is where Batman and the Bat Family and some of the rogues go back to feudal Japan era, and they have to be there and they have to get new character designs. So I could definitely, once I read that and went back and look at all the designs of the characters, I could see why this was some of my favorite designs. This has great animation, great music on this one as well. Although it's black and white, it has flurries of color all over the place. This is probably the best villain in the whole series, or in the series of movies. So yeah, it's really cool, really interesting. One of my favorites for sure. And then at number one, you probably have guessed it by now. If you've seen them all, it's the twins from Studio Trigger as well. Like I mentioned, they worked on Kill la Kill. I love Kill la Kill, and the design and animation of the twins. It's a lot more. It's a lot closer to Kill la Kill than the Elder. The Elder's a little bit different, but this one you can really tell that it's from the same studio. Great visuals on this, like just designs of the ships, the twins, the designs of their weapons, their powers, and the story is great. Like I love the, once again, two sides of the same coin, the Force. These are, as opposed to what we've seen recently with Kylo and Rey. The twins are bound by blood and they're related, and so uh, there's still a battle from dark side and light side, and it really checks all the boxes for me as a Star Wars movie. Checks off all the boxes for me as great anime. So yeah, that's why the twins is at number one. So very cool. Yeah, let's do a quick recap of all these. So we have at number nine, Akakiri. Number eight, we have TOB1. Number seven, Tatooine Rhapsody. Number six, Lop Anocho. Number five, The Ninth Jedi. Number four, The Elder. Number three, The Village Bride. Number two, The Duel. And number one, The Twins. I hope that we get more of this stuff in the future. Once I finish everything, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I put out a tweet just saying, I hope we either get more stories like these from these studios in Japan, or even just animation studios from anywhere in the world where we just get more Star Wars stories, or even maybe Disney can do with some other properties that they own, either the Marvel stuff or some of the Disney stuff, whatever the case may be. But I definitely want more Star Wars. I would really love to see a continuation of the story of both for Akakiri and the Ninth Jedi. Even though Akakiri is at nine, I think the premise that they set up at the end is really interesting. So I want to see that paid off if possible. I think if that there's a part two that might move this up on my list. So yeah, but let me know down in the comments if you have a ranking. Let me know if this is something if you've seen all the way through, what your favorite one was, what else you would like to see in this world, what other things should be adapted to some kind of anime adaptation like this. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Time, where we talk about all things comics, pop culture, movies. We recently have some videos about the Netflix Tanam event. And then on our latest live, we did a whole Batman Day celebration. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.